Hello and welcome back to another episode of FTB Sky Factory 2.5. My name is Twin Minds, and I think I need to continue off with the power situation from last time. I know I mentioned that I could try something without redstone, which most likely would be some sort of magical mod, and I'm all for that, except for I do need to solve this problem first. I did let things run for a little while, and you can see I changed up the capacitor bank to show the average in and out speeds, which is handy to do, so you can kind of quick at a glance see what's going on here. It's fluctuating like crazy because every single time the sifter turns on and off, it changes up the amount of power. At the moment, I've got it at what seems to be a net positive. I can't say for sure, but it does seem to be about net positive. What I've done is add those generators, like I mentioned. I've got some coal coke blocks cooking up in here, which are 8.5 minutes each at 40 RF per tick. And then I made up some potato soup, because potato soup is nice, 24 RF per tick, roughly 3 minutes per soup. So these two combined are kind of keeping me on average up above the negative. The other thing I did was I changed up my solar orientation a little bit. Previously I had that Invar power cell here, and it just didn't seem to be working right. So I reoriented the solar panels, and they seem to be properly outputting now. I think what was happening before is there wasn't enough connections on the solar panels. And the reason for that is, oops, well, I'll get up there eventually. You can see these connect with connected textures, and that indicates that they are talking to each other and sharing the workload of passing energy around. The two different levels didn't seem to be talking to each other, and it kind of seemed like all of my solar panel 2s were not actually feeding energy anywhere. I watched them for a while and they didn't ever seem to lose energy, so once I changed everything up and got a few more connections down here, they did seem to start passing their power around. So that was enough to put me back up in the positive without having to do too much else. So that's a good thing. But it's not quite enough, because as you saw, I'm just barely keeping even for the most part. Maybe topping out at 30 RF per tick above. So I would like to add a few more methods of power generation. So let me gather a few things and then I will return. Alright, I have most of what I need here. So that's the energetic alloy from Ender.io is the medium tier of electrical alloys. This one is gold, redstone, and glowstone, whereas this one is iron, coal, and silicon. And the next one up uses this energetic alloy plus ender pearls to make the third tier of metals. So this is a fairly advanced piece, and I am making a zombie electrode. Now this seems to only have one use that I am aware of, and that is to make the zombie generator. Like so. The zombie generator is a kind of an electrified zombie head in a jar, and you feed it nutrient distillation to generate energy. I don't pretend to know the mechanics behind that, but it is a thing. And to make the nutrient distillation, you need the vat, and that will help cook these things up. So to make the vat, I think I have enough for 2 of these. I do, perfect. I had just enough, actually. And then I need the machine chassis, which is stuff I don't have any access to. Need one more set of iron bars, and I also need one more basic capacitor, which means I need my copper. Like so. And then I need a furnace. What am I missing? Ah, yes, the cauldron. so this is the vat, and it's used to brew all of the different fluids, as it says there. You can brew up the nutrient distillation, which is what I'm aiming for, but you can also brew up hooch, which is an alcohol, and then from that you can make rocket fuel, etc. So it's got quite a few uses, but my primary use is going to be these zombie heads in a jar. So I need to set these up with some item moving stuff. They do generate energy at 80 RF per tick, and they take in fluids, which is why I'm hooking all that up like so. And then the vat is going to sit right on top of these, if it lets me. There we go. And then it takes in things like flesh and sugar. Notice those modifiers there. Zombie flesh is a 1.5 modifier, and sugar is a 1.0 modifier. Those numbers are difficult to explain, but ultimately just determines how much of the nutrient distillation you're going to get as a product. Now, I will need to pump in items from the top. I've ran this cable all the way from the top there. Didn't quite hit my mark with the vat location. I might move it over a hair. Yeah, let's do that. Alright. And then this just goes like so. Now, any of the matching items, whether they are rotten flesh or sugar, when they match, they will go in here. So ideally, I shouldn't need to worry about feeding this thing or filtering it or anything. Whatever this thing can take will go into the appropriate slots, and I don't need to worry about stuff that shouldn't go in there filling things up. So that's an easy filtering setup. Now I do need to provide this with power, and I did get some more cables, so let's do that. Hopefully I grabbed enough cables. I did not. So close. So close. So I will go grab a couple more cables and then the rest of what I need, and I will return. Alright, so I am in the middle of grabbing the rest of what I need. I chose not to get more cables, although I definitely could. But I can just move everything ever so slightly and get everything where I want it to go. So the other thing I'm grabbing is this aqueous accumulator. What this does is it grabs water and generates water from water, basically. It works just like this thing here, the transfer node. It does require water on either side of it to generate that water, but it does it without any extra piping or anything like that. So that's kind of what my aim is there. I need some cobble to sort this thing out. So let's try this again, shall we? First things first is I need to get the vat somewhere where it will be useful, and somewhere that the cables can reach for the zombie generators. So I think that needs to be directly underneath this. Let's do 1, and then 2. Now these zombie generators might need to be up a step for that, and I'm fine, because I like them being at eye level so I can see them, because they're kind of neat looking. So 1, 2... Nope, those don't need to be at eye level. I can't math right now. That's fine. So those two can go right there. And then the vat can be stuck right behind them. Like that. And then the aqueous accumulator can go directly below that. Now I do not want it pumping water anywhere else but up. Although I do believe those need to be open. I'm not positive. But let's get that in the way here. That needs to go, which means I need to light up there. And then that like so. And the water goes in there. And then the aqueous accumulator just starts generating water. And that should be enough to keep up with this. Now you've already seen this start to go. It's got 63 instead of 64, so it is starting to cook up here. Progress is going. It's a little bit slow, but it produces enough that it should be able to keep up, at the very least with these two vats. In my testing, it was able to handle 4 of the zombie generators without too much effort. So now I just need to get the liquid into those. Like so. And I think I need to set this to extract. Yep. So the nutrient distillation is going in here. Now there's not much in each of them yet. They're building up slowly as this thing cooks. But over time, once they fill up, they will start producing power. See there it says 1400 millibuckets required for activation. So it needs a bucket and a half roughly to get started before it will start generating energy. And once it gets down to 1400, it will stop generating energy again, which means this thing needs to constantly be filled with liquid. It does not burn much. It's something like 1 or 2 millibuckets per second rather than per tick, so it goes down relatively slowly, which is why this thing can keep up even though it's pretty slow. So this setup right here should be enough, and all I need to do is pump those items back into the vat since I disconnected that. Like so. And I need to configure that to be input. So now, anytime I get rotten flesh and sugar, it should pump in here and then fill up these zombie generators. Now, because similar to the potion generator, I can't guarantee what's going to come in here or when. So again, this is not a fully reliable source of power. But it is a source of power out of free materials being given to me by monsters so lovingly that they're giving their lives for my power. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that being intermittent. But I'm not okay with all of my power being intermittent, because I do need power, and I need power a little bit more reliably than currently negative 150 per tick. So that's going. That's still going technically, although it's out. That means that something is running that is burning more energy, and I know the vat uses 20 RF per tick. So I don't know exactly what's burning so much energy at the all of a sudden. Ah, it's nighttime, meaning my solars are not running. That's unfortunate. So as I said, I need more reliable power, because all of my power currently is intermittent at best. The solars are intermittent, potion generator, etc., etc. So I need more permanent solutions. So that will be what I'm doing next, and that's going to be a little bit bigger of a build. And I think that will go... Why not? That can go over here. So let me grab what I need for that, and then I will return. Alright, I am back. I have gathered enough stuff to get started here. I don't think I'll be able to optimize the system quite yet, but that's kind of to be expected. What I'm going to be doing is making use of this magmatic dynamo. So let's get a few of those started. I think I'll start with 4. 4 is a decent number. They're going to be doing RF at, I believe, 80 RF per tick. I think that's the standard for all of the dynamos. And 4 of them should keep me going for a little while. So let's do that. Alright, so that is 4 of them. And I think I have everything else I need. If not, I'll remember why I have the copper and tin in my inventory eventually. Let's get started with that, though. I do need some buckets of stuff. I need one more bucket, I believe. So, I will be generating lava, similar to my method here, but a little bit more in excess. So I need one of those and 2 of those. Now I'm also going to take this as a little bit of a jump start. This is the dolly from Jabba. Looks like Jabba. They built it so you can dolly around the barrels, but it also works on any chest item. I can use it on those drawers as well. And it allows you to pick it up and then plop it down wherever you want it. It does give you some serious speed debuffs. I'm not moving very fast here. That's alright. I don't need to go very fast. So that's going to go right here for now. I'll figure out where exactly I want it later. Now I need to set up my my lava generating system, or my cobble gen system. So that's going to go something like so. Probably not going to need to light that up because, yeah, there's going to be lava there. That goes there. You know, I'm going to plop down the lava because I'm having a hard time visualizing this. Lava like so. Alright. So water in there. And there. Which means I need one there. And I need there and there. Alright. So there and there. Now I'm going to be making use of these item transfer nodes as before. And then with the world interaction upgrade, they should be pulling cobble like so. Now, I know for a fact that this is way overkill. I could probably do all 4 of these magmatic dynamos on one set of these things. But, you know, I'm going to have a lot of cobble needs in the near future, so I figured I will get started with that. So then, what's next is I need to set up the crucibles to smelt down all of that cobble into lava. And to do that, I think I'm going to set it up right along here. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close it off. And I don't want my lava in here, so I'll plop that guy down. He's probably going to go right on top here, which means I need 1 cable, and then I need more lava in my 5 buckets here. So I've got my 5 lava, and then my cables in here. Now, I just hope I'm not going to burn anything down upstairs. I don't know for sure if those drawers are fireproof, and I don't know if this lava is going to reach up that high. If I do, I will have some issues, and I will deal with it when it comes. Let's hope that doesn't happen. So this needs to go in here. That's not where I want that at all. I'm trying to figure out if I can get it over this lava. Ah, there we go. And then I can take the dolly and plop this guy down right there. There. Now all of the cobble that gets generated will be going into that barrel. Then I can take my crucibles and bring them this direction. Like so. Then I need to fill them up. And to do that, I'm going to use the item conduits again. Okay, and I do need to set all of these to input. I can just right-click with the wrench to change that quickly. Now this, I need to set to always extract, which is now putting cobble into all of the crucibles, and they're all cooking up, which is wonderful. Now, I do believe I can take this fluid conduit and pump it along the side here. Like that. Although, because the power line is here, I think I'll do that on the other side. Because if this works as I hope it will work, I should be able to just pump the lava directly in to these magmatic dynamos and then pump the energy straight up. Now, what would happen if I put them up one here? Nope, doesn't quite reach. And I know that these fluid conduits are gravity fed, so I would rather it not have to push up, because that would impede the flow. So I think I'll leave these right here, and then I'll just bring down a conduit cable down one. Do I have any more on me? I do not. But that will take some time to cook up the lava anyway. And I just need to set these to extract. Looks like it's already getting started, which is good. I can see those things lighten up. Wonderful, wonderful. So that is going to pump out a lot of energy. Now I will need to augment this. I don't think I want a redstone, so I could actually take these out so I can augment it better. Because the augment that I want is similar to the augment that I had in those other ones. And that is the excitation field limiter, which drops it down to 0 RF per tick so that it doesn't burn fluids when it's not needed. Because as it stands right now, when these things fill up with energy, which they're about to do soon, they will continue to burn through lava. Not a huge problem right now, but I would rather it not be permanent. So since these things are not in use, I'm going to take out the limiter and the bonuses that I added to it here, which is fuel efficiency. So they use even less lava per run. So I'm going to take these out, and then I'm going to go build one more of the excitation field limiters. Now I don't think I'll build a full set of these upgrades quite yet. Oh, come on, I don't have any of that? Alright, let me go grab those. And that is electrum, lead nuggets, and redstone. Okay. Electrum, lead nuggets, and redstone. So let me go plop these down here so they don't start burning through all my lava. So that is the field limiter. Oh dear, I don't need all those in there. And then one of those and one of those. And then field limiter, 1 and 1. And this one just gets the limiter at the moment. So now, they are not burning through any lava when they don't need to be. But they will be storing up the lava, so that when power is needed, they will kick right back on again and start pumping. Now all I need to do is get them hooked up. Now this is the part that I had been avoiding doing, because I had been so low on redstone. But I've got 56 now, so that's good. I will cook these up. And then I will... Let's make some more magmatics. I will make one more magmatic for now. One more magmatic, which means one more field limiter, which means one more lead and one more electrum. One of my other goals is to get all of my materials in one spot so they're all connected to the network, so I don't have to keep running around doing that, but that'll have to be another time. Alright. One more of those. And then back to a magmatic. Oh, I did have the silver network. I forgot to put that in there. And then 2 more of these gears. And another magmatic. That is almost too easy, actually. Is this done? It is just about done. Alright, so now I can get all these hooked up. So this guy goes right there. He gets a limiter. And he's just barely getting lava. Doesn't look like he's got enough to generate, but there he goes, kicked in. Good. Now, I just need to hook all of them up. There we go. Not the greatest connection in the world, but if I take out a couple of these, they're all connected, and I can save myself a few. Good. Now, what's my energy looking like? Wonderful, wonderful. 300 plus incoming. Alright, and I am actually quickly reaching the cap on these conduits. So, that might be my next task, actually, is to stop building these ones and start building the next level up. I may even just skip the next level up and go straight with the top tier, because the top tier, so these are 640 RF per tick, these are 5120, which is a significant bump up, and this is 2480. So it may be just worth my time and worth my materials to just go the next step up, so that I don't have to have a bunch of these conduits laying around that I can't use, because they don't really get used for much. If you look here, there's not very many crafting recipes that make use of these conduits. So these all just kind of get left behind. They don't really get used anymore. You can use them in smaller capacity, like if you've got small builds like this, where these might be generating power just to run this stuff, and you don't need to connect it to your main system. That's where these can still come in handy, for these little self-contained systems. But for the overall power transition, it's not great to have a whole bunch of these things laying around. So I will see what I can do about that. I might do that off camera and get all those replaced. The good news is that with these conduits, when you upgrade them, it's actually just a matter of right-clicking with the next version, and it just replaces it where it is. So that's nice, so you don't have to tear down your entire wire network and then rebuild it again. You just right-click with the next tier up, and it just replaces it. So that's an easy enough thing to do, but I don't really need to do that on camera. So the next thing that I might do is monitor the system, make sure that it's producing properly. If it is, and I might be able to expand it to more magmatics. If it is not, however, I might need to expand the lava production. So we'll see what that requires. This, on the other hand, is way too much cobble. Way too much. I will never need, at least this system will never need that much cobble. But I will need this much cobble, because there are at least 2 or 3 different goals that require insane amounts of cobble. One of them being an octuple compressed, which is, I think it was 5 million cobble. So there's some significant needs for cobble in the future. So I'm not worried about building that thing up yet. I might even start collecting that stuff just to get that started, because 5 million takes a long time no matter what methods you're using. So I have basically solved my power problem for now. It's not perfect, but I have a lot more power generation coming in, which allows me to run my sifting setup permanently and still use my other machines when I need to. So that's good. So I think I can rest easy a little bit now. The last thing I want to mention is that something's up with this. I don't know what. I took down the wires from here. In fact, when I took down the wires from this side, that light immediately turned off. So somehow it was receiving power from this side. Even though it was on input only, there shouldn't have been a way for it to receive power. It was anyway, somehow. But my monsters are no longer spawning. And I don't know why. I have broken and replaced this lantern. I have broken and replaced that switch. this is the only thing that should be stopping them from generating, but they're not coming anymore. And I don't know why that is. So I'll have to do some investigation on that and see what's going on. I don't know exactly how I'm going to tackle that yet, but we will see. But for right now, everything is going smoothly, and I'm okay with that. So next time, I think I might delve into magic again, like I had alluded to before. So until then, see ya!